When the cavemen first came from their cave, they had one thing in mind. They realized that they needed to get food, and that without it, they cannot survive. The cavemen did not look like hairy beasts or hairy gorillas. In fact,
They look a lot like what we call now a Yeti. The cavemen didn't know much. So they took a parachute and went gliding to go find what they needed. But the first person who did it, he didn't know how to glide it very well. So he got hurt really bad. Then they came up with an idea for a snowboard, which is basically they just got a log. But alas, they didn't know how to use it. Then they came up with the idea of a wingsuit. And alas, the idea failed. They stuck with the parachute. But then again, they realized there's been no changes to their model parachute since the last flight. So he fell again. So the young caveman walked over to his station. He worked and worked and studied until finally he had perfected his invention. Then this young Yeti went to find food. Bye everybody, I'll be gone for a few days. So, watch as the young caveman sets off to find his tribe some food. But at one point, he accidentally gave out with his parachute and fell. But being stubborn, got back up and noticed a structure. This young caveman was not familiar with anything that wasn't made out of stone, like as they called it, a hidey hole, which we now call caves. So when he saw a cabin, he was impressed. He wanted to know everything about it, but then noticed that the cabin is filled with snow. It is drowned upon tons of snow. The young caveman goes to investigate and realizes that this was his fault. Even though it wasn't, they were still pretty stupid. But then, this young caveman gets mad, and he finds what they call a snowboard. It had the instructions on it. Even though he did not know how to read, the pictures seemed to make sense. So he tried. And he started learning how to do tricks. So then he could get food for his tribe quicker. But there was only one flaw. How would he get back to his cave and give his people the food? This the young caveman did not realize, for gravity has not been discovered, because Isaac Newton was not born anywhere near this time. But then, the young caveman got so distracted and just kept doing his tricks. But then, his snowboard broke. He fell. He hurt himself really bad. And he kept falling for a few minutes. Then he realized what he had to do. He took 2 sticks that he found in the snow and broke the snowboard and put them on both feet and created the first skis. Now, young caveman just broke them out of anger, but he still realized what he could do with these new inventions. But then he fell again, because he still was practicing. Then he saw the first human. This was life-changing for the cavemen, for they realized that they would evolve into such creatures. He stopped to talk he stopped to talk, but he ran away. Caveman got angry and went after him. Caveman would not rest until he found them. Eventually, the caveman fell. As he fell, the human kept riding. This made Caveman very mad. But then, the human disappeared. He went farther into the snow. Yet he did not know what he had just experienced. So out of anger, he kept practicing. He wanted to do everything that human was doing, even though the Yeti was better at it. He kept failing. He just didn't know how to do this. So, he threw down those sticks and put together his snowboard. And there you have it. He got back to his snowboarding skills. But this was not the end. You see, the Yeti, there's one thing that he has not discovered yet that he will. A few years later, Yeti was really good at what he was doing. So good, in fact, that he forgot all about feeding his tribe. In time, all the people up at the cave were starving, while he was just trying to snowboard. So, but then, young Yeti realized what he had done. He was so angry at himself that he decided to come up with a new invention. A new invention to honor all those that he accidentally let die. For some reason, he had not starved yet. Perhaps it was because he has eaten the sticks that went to his brand new invention known as skis. So he took his snowboard and went all the way to the top. And he attached the snowboard into his skin, which he found very painful. But no matter how much pain he felt, he needed to make this new invention to honor his tribe. He climbed the mountain. He was really good at it since his ancestors had to find the old cave that he used to be in. As he climbed, he heard noises, the sounds of what we call bells. So as he goes up the mountain, he hits a few rocks. As he gets up there, he realizes his hands are in a lot of pain. But he does not care. He doesn't even notice since he is so dedicated to honoring his tribe. Eventually, he called his tribe the Yetis. But that is years after. Eventually, the Yetis would evolve into humans, and any who didn't became a legend. A myth that humans called it eventually. The scientists were close, but they thought that we could have evolved from gorillas. But alas, we evolved from the Yeti. People who weren't lucky enough to evolve to a disease called Yetiphobia were again known as myths, and were forever feared. Let's get back to the Yeti climbing. He climbed so much to make his new invention. Then he sees this metal thing and realizes that the narrator was wrong. It has not been a few years, for it has been almost 1,000,000. Metal wasn't even known to his kind yet. But still, it wasn't around the time when the wingsuit was invented. So, he decided to invent a way to fly, to honor how he did not get there quick enough to his tribe, because flying would have been the fastest form of transportation. So just so I don't have to climb the whole mountain just to show you where Yeti went to the highest point that he knew, which really isn't Mount Everest, because that wasn't even a thing yet. People didn't even know that was the biggest mountain. They didn't even judge that. So young Yeti created his invention. He made a costume to look like a human in a bat. Why did he do this? I do not know. It was around Halloween. He probably saw something like that. So, he tries a few times to take off. And finally, he falls again. But then after that, he goes. Young Yeti has created the first wingsuit. Young Yeti was very proud of himself. He also used the paraglider that his tribe first invented and narrowed it down to a parachute to help with his fall, just in case. Yeti realized he was about to crash, so he bailed. Young Yeti was very proud of his new invention, and to honor everything that he did, he got in his paraglider and rode the first invention that he and his tribe had ever made. But he fell. So yeah, guys, that was just something new I wanted to try. I think I'm gonna make it like a National Geographic. If you want me to do more of these, please leave a like down below. Also, put in the comments below what other games you'd like me to play or stuff you want to see me do in this one. I think I might do another National Geographic, but I think that was really fun. Like, that was one of the most fun I've ever done. So yeah, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!